Guys, if you like Dragon Ball Hakai, today is the best day for you to subscribe to our Patreon. We started publishing about 3 pages a day of the next chapter of Dragon Ball Hakai. In addition, you will also have access to several other stories created by our team, including Dragon Ball Shinken. By collaborating with our Patreon, you help us keep Dragon Ball Hakai alive and have a lot of benefits. Become a member of our community too. The link is in the video description and in the pinned comment. I'm waiting for you there.
Fly to the limits, look out below and you will see the clouds beneath, way up high where no one has been. Break out your spirit, you know it's waiting to begin, so ride upon the wind. These guys come out of nowhere one by one. Their sights are set upon the land we love. Bad vibes are the cue for me. Fight, fight, fight. I'll guard the planet like a shield for a night. So no, I won't stop fighting till it's over. Won't run away. And you can bet that Earth will keep on turning. I'm making sure it's safe. Join in the face of my fists are sturdy in their faith. They'll never shake. Ain't nobody stopping it burn. Show what we're made of. I'll change the future with my nerves to one that we deserve for the world.
Previously on Dragon Ball Shinken, after accidentally falling into a very peculiar reality, the Gogeta fusion is undone, bringing back old Goku and the god Vegeta, who have to deal with very peculiar opponents in this reality called Naruto and Luffy, respectively known as the Shinobi God and the Pirate King. After a hard fight, Goku and Vegeta discover that Naruto and Luffy are not bad people, but were deceived by the angel Konyak, who took command of this world. Now Goku and Vegeta decide to go to the world capital to defeat the evil angel. Will they be able to do this? Find out now. If you want to see the next Dragon Ball Shinken video produced even faster, comment now #Dragon Ball Shinken or anything else related to the story. Also, leave a like on the video so we know that you approve of this story here on the channel. If this video reaches 100 comments and 1000 likes, we will bring the next one urgently. And so you don't miss the next Dragon Ball Shinken video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Now let's move on to the chapter. Episode 41, The Strange World of Ninjas and Pirates, Part 3. The Pirate King's ship sails across the great ocean, carrying Luffy, Zoro, and God Vegeta. Their destination, at Vegeta's request, is the world capital, where the evil angel Konyak is. The ship moves at a stupidly high speed thanks to Luffy, who occasionally fills his body with air and blows the sail, making the entire ship reach stratospheric speed for several minutes. Despite this, Vegeta is impatient, saying that it would be much faster if they flew. Zoro says that no matter where they need to go, they always take the ship with them, or else they wouldn't be a pirate crew. When Zoro says this, Vegeta takes the opportunity to satisfy his curiosity. Speaking of which, you guys love to say you're a pirate crew, but I'm only seeing the two of you. How can you call this a crew? When Vegeta asks this question, both Zoro and Luffy gain a sadder and darker look in their expressions, making it clear that this subject is taboo for them. It didn't used to be just the two of us, Luffy responds briefly, his tone and expression making it clear that he doesn't want to discuss the subject any further. I understand. Somehow, Vegeta feels sorry for both of them. The person who talks a little more about the subject is Zoro, saying that unfortunately the war between ninjas and pirates had a very high cost for the Straw Hat Pirates. Luffy and I were the last ones left of our crew. I tell him all the time that we should look for new companions, since we need other people to do the other functions that we don't know how to do very well. But Luffy refuses to look for new people. Vegeta listens to everything in silence and then looks at Luffy. I understand. It seems like this guy is quite sentimental despite looking like an airhead. On the large continent, Goku travels with Team 7, the ninjas running and the Saiyan flying over them. As they travel, Goku sees great destruction throughout that territory. In the terrain, many craters and cracks. In forests, fallen trees, and partially destroyed mountains. And in cities and towns, much destruction and reconstruction work. Goku asks about all this destruction, deducing that very intense battles took place all over that place. The ninjas confirm this, saying that this was the result of the great war between ninjas and pirates. It must have been a horrible war, Goku comments. It was the worst war this world has ever seen, Naruto confirms. The losses are incalculable, whether in destruction or loss of life. I myself have lost count of how many comrades I saw die in that war. In addition to my many friends, I lost my father and mother in this war. Sasuke lost his entire clan. Kakashi-sensei lost his father and also his best friends. Sakura lost her best friend too. We will never forget the terror of that war. With the grief of their fallen comrades hanging over their minds, the ninjas are saddened. Let me tell you something. Naruto begins to speak, his tone full of seriousness. Regardless of anything, the fact is that Cognac brought the peace that our world so needed. I hope you're right about him, because if you're not, we're all going to band together and take you down. Even though he is threatened, Goku does not get angry. On the contrary, he understands their side perfectly, but he assures that he is not wrong. Cognac is an evil being and he needs to be slaughtered. As it approaches the world capital across the great ocean, the Straw Hat's ship enters a river, which serves as a water bridge between the capital and the ocean. As soon as they enter this river and see that they are the only ones in it, Zoro and Luffy suspect that something is wrong, since, according to them, normally this river would be full of pirate ships and merchants and not empty like this. Cognac is waiting for us, Vegeta states with certainty. Suddenly, a dense fog circles the river, completely obscuring their vision. It seems like it has already started, Zoro says with an excited smile. Vegeta, while shouting for them to stop hiding, hits both his hands in a powerful slap, creating a wave of impact so strong that in a second, it dissipates all the dense fog that has accumulated. When the fog clears, they find themselves surrounded by dozens, or perhaps hundreds, of ships. Pirates from all over the world are gathered there. Commanding this gigantic fleet of pirates are the Shichibukais. Well, it seems like everyone came together to welcome us. How interesting, Zoro comments. Impatient, Vegeta begins to raise his ki, saying he will finish them all off in an instant. But Zoro tells him and Luffy not to bother, as he will deal with everyone there. Can you do that? Vegeta asks, a little in disbelief. But Luffy is the one who responds, saying that behind him, Zoro is the most powerful pirate in this world. He can definitely handle this situation. Go at once and leave this to me, Zoro says as he draws his swords and puts himself in a fighting stance. Luffy thanks his companion as he transforms into Gear 4 and starts flying away, telling Vegeta to follow him. Vegeta says goodbye to the green-haired pirate with a smile that shows respect and follows Luffy. Among the Shichibukai, the one trying to chase Luffy and Vegeta is Dracula Mihawk, who jumps towards them, preparing a sword cut. But Zoro intervenes, jumping in front of him and forcing Mihawk to give up his attack to counter Zoro's sword. A brief exchange of sword strikes begins in the air as the two swordsmen fall, with only the pressure of their blades deflected by each other, cutting through dozens of ships around them. In the end, Zoro returns to his ship and Mihawk to where he was. The green-haired man is intact, while the hawk-eyed man shows some cuts. You can all come at once, I'll cut everyone, the pirate from the Straw Hat crew says with conviction. Luffy and Vegeta fly towards the world capital, already seeing the great metropolis. We're getting to him, the pirate warns. Coming over dry land, Team 7 and Goku can now see the large city. However, the large land in front of the city which seemed empty, is suddenly filled with thousands of small explosions of smoke. In the next instant, thousands of ninjas from all over the world appear, all led by the 5 Kage. Sasuke says that he really thought it was strange that they were getting closer so easily. Kakashi comments that Konyak doesn't seem to have thought twice before creating a trap for them, which in a way confirms his cunning nature. Sakura agrees and says that Goku might actually be right about him. All the ninjas in that army that formed in front of the city are extremely disappointed with Team 7, especially with Naruto, considered a great hero by all of them. Among everyone, the one who speaks is Tsunade, the Hokage, who asks what they are thinking about helping this invader. Naruto responds by saying that things are not what they seem, and they have good reasons for doing so. But the Raikage is furious, saying that there can be no good reason for this, and that they are nothing more than traitors. Goku tells Naruto that it is useless to try to talk to them, as Konyak has already manipulated their minds. Sasuke puts himself in front of everyone, saying that if there is no way to talk, then he will find a way to hold them all. Kakashi and Sakura come to his side soon after, saying they will help and that Naruto should take Goku to Konyak. Goku is surprised by their attitude and asks if they could really deal with so many people. Naruto, on the other hand, is very confident and responds that he's sure they can handle it. Naruto then transforms into Six Paths Sage mode and, starting to fly, calls Goku to continue their way. Goku does so and they fly away. The other ninjas think about intervening, but Kakashi and Sasuke activate their Susanos to get everyone's attention, at the same time that Sakura summons Katsuyu. When Team 7 prepares for battle, that entire shinobi army trembles, knowing they are about to face the most powerful ninja team in the world. As they fly through the world capital, Vegeta and Luffy are attacked by troops upon troops of ninjas, pirates, marines and samurai who try in every way to reach them in the sky. But Vegeta and Luffy fend them off and knock them out with the Saiyans' energy blasts and the pirates' long-range attacks. At one point, they are reached by a series of shots, which are fired by Don Krieg. They also need to dodge several kunais and shurikens, which are thrown by Tenten. "Don't irritate me, you annoying worms," Vegeta shouts as he fires an energy blast at them. Despite trying to defend himself with his shield, Don Krieg has his entire suit destroyed by the God of Destruction's ki blast, being absolutely defeated. The same happens with Tenten, who cannot defend or dodge. Then Arlong jumps at them, with his teeth prepared to bite Luffy. "Gomo Gomu no Kongun!" Luffy hits the fishman square in the face, throwing him back where he came from, but with a gigantic force that completely knocks him out. Propelled into the sky by a jet of smoke released from his lower part, Smoker comes, ready to hit Vegeta. "Get out of my way!" Accumulating great strength in his hand, Vegeta fires a strong punch into the air, generating a wave of force so powerful that it sweeps the marine out of his way, throwing him far away. The next one to look for them in the sky is Kaido, who in the form of a large dragon snakes through the air towards Luffy. "Gomu, Gomu, no King Kongan!" The Pirate King lands an extremely powerful blow on the dragon, knocking him to the ground. Luffy and Vegeta find themselves getting closer and closer to the floating castle in the center of the great world capital, where the angel resides. "Almost there," Luffy warns. Also getting closer and closer to the floating castle are Naruto and Goku, being forced to deal with an army of ninjas, pirates, marines, and samurai beneath them. But an enemy also approaches from the sky, Deidara, who, flying on his clay bird, launches dozens of explosives at them. Goku, however, quickly deals with this, using his telekinetic strength to push Deidara's explosives back at him at the moment of the explosion, making the blonde ninja's own art defeat him. Suddenly, Goku and Naruto see two flashes of red energy ascend into the sky. They, however, are not flying, but rising into the sky thanks to the propulsion of a powerful jump that they performed thanks to the titanic strength of their legs. These people are Might Guy and Rock Lee, who, after activating all their inner gates, attack the enemies in the sky with all the power they have. However, not even all the power of these two means anything to the great shinobi god, who flies towards them, colliding his body with theirs. This single shock throws Guy and Lee back to the ground, opening a gigantic crater in the city and putting the two great taijutsu masters out of combat. Then, Naruto performs the multiple shadow clone jutsu, evoking with his chakra dozens of clones that fall in droves from the sky to fight the enemies that pile up below them. Each clone of mine is enough to defeat dozens or hundreds of them, so we won't need to worry anymore, Naruto says. Getting closer and closer to the floating castle, Goku smiles, knowing that his target is getting closer. However, his smile fades when he sees on the wall of the castle that hangs over the sky two men. Who are these guys? Goku asks. Just by looking, he already recognizes that they are not ordinary opponents. These are two of the most powerful ninjas in history, Madara Uchiha and Hashirama Senju. Naruto introduces them. Damn, more people to slow us down, Goku complains. However, Naruto tells Goku to move on, and that he will deal with these two. Goku asks if he's sure, as they seem pretty strong. Naruto says, yes, he's sure. I'll catch up with you as soon as possible, the blonde ninja says. Goku then moves on, and when Madara and Hashirama think about following him, Naruto interjects, sorry, but I can't let you pass. Hashirama, very saddened, says he is disappointed, asking how he went from the hero of the ninja world to a defender of an enemy. I don't expect you to understand me now, but believe me, I'm doing what's right, he answers. Vegeta and Luffy approach the castle at full speed when they notice on the wall a group of enemies lurking, waiting for them. What is it now? Vegeta looks grumpily at the opponents that appear. Luffy explains that these are the admirals, very powerful people. Damn! I don't want to waste any more time with these bugs, the Prince of Saiyans shouts. Luffy then tells Vegeta to move on. He will deal with these enemies alone and meet him later. Vegeta nods his head in agreement and then continues flying towards the castle like an energy cannon, breaking through the fortress walls. Luffy hovers on the castle wall facing the admirals, saying with an excited smile that this is going to be fun. Destroying wall by wall of the large floating fort, Vegeta finally reaches its center, the main hall where Cognac is sitting on the throne. To Vegeta's surprise, Kakarot is already there. He just arrived. Hey Vegeta, I knew you would come. He salutes his companion. Kakarot, since when have you been here? I can't believe you got there before me. Don't be upset about that. I arrived just now. Cognac rises from his throne, saying that it doesn't matter who arrived first. He will kill them both. Goku and Vegeta leave the discussion for later. After all, the fight against a formidable enemy is about to begin. At the same time, the Saiyan duo raises their ki to a higher level, evoking the transcendental power of the Shinken. The ultimate fight is about to begin. Looking at the Shinken transformation of old Goku and God Vegeta, Cognac smiles. He says that when Gogeta showed this transformation, he felt great fear, but now he doesn't feel that anymore. You're not Gogeta, you're just two worms, the angel teases. What did you say, you bug? Vegeta exclaims, his energy of destruction rising in anger. In the blink of an eye, Cognac is already between them, surprising them both with his speed. That's exactly what you heard. The angel responds. Startled, Vegeta rushes to try strike the angel, but Cognac skillfully diverts the flow of his blow and manipulates Vegeta's body to throw him against Goku. Goku dodges the companion thrown at him in time, but is unable to dodge it when Cognac takes advantage of this distraction to land an attack. Goku and Vegeta are thrown out of the floating castle. Vegeta, we have to do the fusion now, Goku says in a hurry. Don't be stupid, Kakarot. The last time we fused, we ran the risk of being united forever. Luckily, we were separated for some reason when we got here. I won't take that risk again. I prefer death. Goku ends up agreeing with him. I think you're right. It is better to die as ourselves than live as someone else. When we fused last time, we did it because Cumber threatened our reality. So we did it for our friends and family. We don't need to do this now. The two are reached by the evil angel who comes out of the castle towards them in the form of a flash of energy. Goku and Vegeta quickly separate to avoid being run over by the angel's devastating movement, who, after missing them, opens his arms and launches a wave of power at each one. Thanks to his transcendentally improved Ultra Instinct, Goku is able to dodge using his good reflexes, even though his speed is very limited compared to that of the angel. Vegeta, on the other hand, is forced to try and hold back Konyak's energy, which he doesn't do successfully and is carried away. Goku stands against the angel in an attempt to land successive attacks, which Konyak easily escapes using his superior agility, and then, using his superior strength, he strikes Goku's chest with highly forceful power. Goku suffers from the blow. However, he shows great resilience when counter-attacking, even if unsuccessfully. Very good. Boy, that punch of mine was aimed squarely at your heart. It would be a mortal blow. However, you managed to avoid the fatal point at the last moment. Even with much lower power, you can still react to my attacks thanks to this extraordinary ability called Shinken. However, Goku doesn't feel extraordinary seeing all of his moves that he puts so much effort into being so easily avoided by the evil angel. Approaching again, accumulating a high amount of destructive power, Vegeta shouts for Kakarot to move away, and then launches a powerful blast of concentrated destructive energy. Konyak is impressed by the power of Vegeta's attack and avoids it by disappearing from where he is and then reappearing behind Vegeta as quickly as a teleportation. Your attack power is incredible thanks to the Shinken that enhances your destructive power, God of Destruction. Even though I'm more powerful than you, I don't feel comfortable resisting a direct attack from you. Vegeta delivers several blows to the angel and Goku approaches to join him. Even though the two Shinken warriors attack at the same time, the evil angel manages to avoid each blow. As the fight continues, Konyak gradually changes his mind about the things he said to Goku and Vegeta at the beginning of the fight, and now praises the opponents he previously despised. You two are amazing, I must admit that. It's no surprise that your fusion results in a warrior as extraordinary as Gogeta. However, it's like I said before, at the same time, Konyak hits Goku and Vegeta with a blow that knocks bloody vomit out of both of their mouths. You're not Gogeta, and you're not as strong as him, the evil angel says. But Vegeta grabs the angel's arm and replies, we don't need to be as strong as Gogeta, just stronger than you. Extending his other hand, he releases a wave of energy at close range into Konyak's chest, dragging the evil angel across the sky. After receiving this attack, Konyak is unable to avoid placing his hands on his chest, showing agony at the damage received. Vegeta smiles when he sees the angel's obvious discomfort with his attack. You're all talk, you stupid angel. You're not as powerful as you made out to be. Goku thinks of something and then he says to Vegeta, wait Vegeta, this is really strange. Even though it's not as strong as him, this angel has enough power to maintain a fight against Gogeta for some time. This means that he is much more powerful than us and should not have been hurt by an attack like that. Vegeta asks what Kakarot means by that and argues that the angel was clearly injured by his attack. That's true. However, I noticed that he hasn't used his magic staff until now. I remember he lost his staff in the fight against Gogeta, which means he doesn't have it anymore. Furthermore, in the fight against Gogeta, he was also seriously injured right at the point you hit just now. Vegeta begins to understand what Goku means. So you're saying he's still suffering from the injury Gogeta caused because he couldn't heal himself with his magic staff? Goku confirms and says that when the body is badly injured, the power level can also be affected. Gohan, for example, lost approximately half of his power in the fight against Cell when his arm was injured. At this moment, Konyak's power is greatly reduced and he has a weak point that they can exploit. Vegeta starts to think better and concludes that perhaps this is the reason he didn't personally go and deal with them before. This injury is making it difficult for him to fight, and that's why he preferred to send those two in the hope that we would be defeated without him having to risk himself. Goku agrees with this conclusion and then admits, you know, I didn't have much hope of winning this fight since these angels are much stronger than the angels from our original reality. But now, I see that we really can win. Konyak gets angry when he hears this. He admits that yes, he hasn't fully recovered from the wound inflicted by Gogeta, and he also can't use all of his magical angel powers. However, he claims that he remains superior to them even with his power reduced. Goku and Vegeta raise their Shinken ki even higher, determined to win. In the form of purple and silver flashes, they advance against Konyak, which, in the form of a ray of white light, meets them. The clash of these bodies culminates in an explosion of light that radiates across the skies of the world capital, causing the entire gigantic city to be illuminated and shaken by the surreal power of those fighting in the skies. Ninjas, marines, samurai, and pirates are amazed at the vibrational forces that permeate their bodies and the entire structure of the city, for a moment looking mesmerized at the confrontation taking place above. All that can be seen by them are figures, flashes, and explosions of impact or energy. Every now and then, a portion of the fighter's energy falls from the sky, bringing with it explosions that completely destroy parts of the city, causing panic and despair. Goku and Vegeta determinedly attack the evil angel, who despite his previous injury, always responds with superiority. Finding a gap between the two's attacks, Konyak targets the Saiyan duo with a series of blows, which Goku and Vegeta receive with great suffering. Unable to continue the physical confrontation, they retreat. Damn it, Kakarot. What's the point of this bastard having a weak point if we can't hit him? Vegeta complains. Goku becomes thoughtful, realizing that although Konyak is an angel, and therefore has a very well developed Ultra Instinct, he does not seem to just be reacting instinctively to their attacks, but rather predicting. When Goku says this, Vegeta thinks of something. Hey Kakarot, maybe there's another reason why this bastard sent those two to fight us. He was already waiting for us, which means he knew we were coming. In other words, he was watching us, so he saw us fight. This trickster saw our movements and techniques and is using it to his advantage. Goku agrees with Vegeta and accuses Konyak of cheating. Do you really want to talk about cheating in a 2-on-1 fight? The angel retorts. Now speaking more quietly, Goku says to Vegeta, but regardless of the reason, the fact is that this guy, in addition to being more powerful than us and having Ultra Instinct, can, in a certain way, predict what we are going to do. We won't be able to beat him on our own. Vegeta asks what Kakarot suggests they do. Goku says that if they could count on the help of others, maybe there is a chance. The problem is that they are busy fighting each other. Vegeta doesn't like this idea, saying it would be humiliating to drag even more people into this fight. Enough of this talk, Kakarot. I will defeat this bastard with my own strength. The god of destruction attacks the angel. Wait, Vegeta, don't be hasty. Goku goes right away to help. They resume the exchange of blows against Konyak, at a disadvantage even though they fight together. At that moment, Goku has an idea, so he starts to question Konyak. Hey, tell me something. How do you intend to return to the reality we came from? Konyak says he has no idea how to do this, and that he will try to figure out a way to get back. On the other hand, it's not a bad idea to stay in that place, since he's become a kind of leader for those idiots. So you intend to stay here deceiving and enslaving these people? Wasn't tricking them into turning them against Vegeta and me enough? Goku asks. Konyak says there's no reason not to use these suckers anymore. After all, there are always uses for good pawns. After the angel says these things, Goku smiles and tells him to look down. At first he doesn't understand, but when Konyak looks towards the city below them, he realizes that everyone there has already stopped fighting and is looking up at the sky with an indignant expression on their faces. Konyak asks what happened, and then Goku tells him that he used his telepathic power, enhanced by Shinken, to transmit the angel's speeches to everyone in the city. Now everyone knows your real intentions. Your mask has fallen. Goku celebrates. You bastard! Konyak curses the Saiyan, hitting him hard and pushing Goku away. Then he also strikes and pushes Vegeta away. From the city below, everyone is scandalized by what they have just heard and immediately prepares to begin the offensive against the evil angel who deceived them. The first to take initiative are Naruto and Luffy, who no longer need to deal with that entire army to cover Goku and Vegeta. They fly towards the angel to join the battle against him. However, Konyak thinks quickly and extends his arms to create a large dome of energy in the sky, isolating him, Goku, and Vegeta. Naruto and Luffy are prevented from advancing. They try to attack the dome to get through, but the power of that energy shield is greater than theirs, so it's useless. That will keep the others away, at least for now, the angel thinks. With a mischievous smile, Goku gloats that Konyak can keep others away with this protection, but he will need to spend a considerable amount of energy to maintain it. In other words, another disadvantage has just emerged. "Come on, Vegeta, let's attack him with everything we have now," old Goku calls out while increasing the intensity of his ki. "I don't need you to tell me that, Kakarot," God Vegeta responds, also summoning more power. Emanating power, the Saiyan duo once again attack, this time forcing the evil angel to retreat, pressured by the power exuded by the Saiyans and also by his own expenditure of power. However, Konyak still gains the upper hand, narrowly avoiding Goku and Vegeta's attacks and retaliating surgically, landing blunt blows on both of them. Goku and Vegeta are once again forced to retreat in frustration. Vegeta complains, saying that even though Konyak's power is greatly reduced, the precision of his Ultra Instinct, combined with the ability to predict their attacks, still gives the advantage to the angel. At that moment, Goku has an idea and starts to smile, saying he already knows what to do. He flies towards Konyak, who is preparing for whatever the Saiyan's attack is. However, Goku does what he didn't expect: Shadow Clone Technique. To the Angel's complete surprise, several real Goku clones form around him and begin attacking at the same time, with multiple Gokus around him, all attacking with mastery thanks to the abilities of Ultra Instinct. Konyak ends up being confused and surprised, starting to receive blows from multiple Shinken warriors. Goku explains that although Naruto has different techniques than him, the ways in which they are done are not that different. With Shinken, he acquires a heightened ability to manipulate ki, so he is capable of doing these things as long as he concentrates. Suffering blows from all sides, Konyak becomes enraged and releases his ki in an explosion of energy that hits and dissipates all of Goku's clones. But the original Goku resists the push of the angel's energy and charges forward with a punch. Konyak dodges at the last moment. However, he is surprised when Goku's attack hits his face even though his fist misses. Goku channeled his ki imperceptibly to hit the angel, just as Naruto hit him using his natural chakra in Sage Mode. Struck by surprise by the blow, Konyak staggers, and then Goku, creating a rotating spiral sphere of ki in his hand, shouts, "Rasengan!" The ki sphere hits the middle of the angel's chest, carrying him away and then exploding. With all this direct impact on the injured area of his chest, the angel expels blood through his mouth amidst agonizing coughs. However, Konyak still lives and in fury prepares to counterattack Goku. "You bastard! How dare you!" The evil angel raises his hands to concentrate his energy in a devastating attack, but he is surprised again when an arm wraps around his body like a rope, trapping him. When Konyak realizes, he sees that the person who did this was Vegeta, who simply stretched his arm towards him. It's not just Kakarot who can copy other people's skills. I can also use control over my ki to use that straw hat idiot's techniques. Containing Konyak with one of his arms, Vegeta stretches the other back while accumulating his energy of destruction in his fist. And then, making his arm return with full power, Vegeta shouts, "Hakai Pisto!" The Saiyan God's arm, imbued with the power of destruction, travels at an extraordinary speed towards Konyak, hitting the angel's chest right at its weak point, crossing his body. Vegeta releases Konyak at the same time as he removes his arm from the villain's body, bringing both his arms back to begin preparing a Gallic gun. In turn, Goku also prepares an attack, accumulating his energy for a Kamehameha. Konyak, pouring blood from his mouth, finds himself paralyzed by the excruciating pain that affects him and also by the shock of what is happening. In unity, Goku and Vegeta fire their attacks. Kamehameha and Gallic Gun meet in a titanic clash of energy with the dying angel at the center. In an explosion of colossal power, both techniques disappear, taking the evil angel with them. With the defeat of the enemy that deceived them all, the Marines, pirates, ninjas and samurai below, who once craved the blood of the Saiyans, now scream in jubilation at their victory. As soon as Konyak disappears, his shield dissipates, allowing Naruto and Luffy to approach, who arrive flying towards Goku and Vegeta, praising them for their victory. "Hey, you used my Gomu Gomu no pistol. That was really cool," Luffy says to Vegeta, excited. Vegeta, on the other hand, isn't proud of this at all. On the contrary, he's embarrassed. "I still can't believe I stooped so low as to use such a ridiculous technique." Naruto also praises Goku, saying that he had a lot of work to learn those techniques, while Goku learned just by watching him use them. "You are a true genius." I admit that, says the shinobi god. Goku is flattered and thanks him. Luffy says that since they are all together, they should eat something to celebrate. Naruto agrees and invites everyone to go to Ramen Ichiraku. Goku is very happy when he hears this and tells Vegeta that he has to meet Ichiraku. The food there is incredible. Vegeta pretends to be uninterested but agrees to go. However, their attention is suddenly caught when a tear opens in the sky, revealing a fissure in space-time. Goku and Vegeta immediately recognize it as a dimensional rift and are alarmed, as are Naruto, Luffy, and everyone else. However, when they see who has just come out of that dimensional rift, they are more relieved. It is the Daishinkan from Vegito's reality. Goku tells everyone to stay calm because the person just arrived is a friend. Vegeta asks how Daishinkan found them, and he explains that he was already searching between dimensions, but managed to find them at this moment because of the great increase in power just now. With the increase in Goku, Vegeta, and Konnyaku's Kei, he was able to detect them and reach this dimension. Goku is very happy about this and says they can leave soon after a meal at Ichiraku, but Daishinkan's expression is not good at all. For some reason he looks worried, tired and in pain. He says he needs Goku and Vegeta to go with him immediately. Seeing that something wrong has happened, they agree. Goku and Vegeta say goodbye to Naruto and Luffy and tell them to give their greetings to the others. I hope that even after Konnyaku's defeat, you will maintain peace, Goku says. But Naruto and Luffy say that even though it all started with a lie, in the end, they all learned to work together. And this bond that was built won't break apart so easily. The Saiyans are happy when they hear this. They say goodbye and leave that reality next to Daishinkan. So guys, with that, we finish this small arc of Dragon Ball Shinken with the participation of the One Piece and Naruto universes. If you've made it this far, comment goodbye Naruto and Luffy to pay respect to these two incredible works that have just participated in Dragon Ball Shinken. Remembering that the author of Dragon Ball himself, Akira Toriyama, had deep respect for these works and their authors, so let's do the same. And don't forget to leave a like if you haven't done so yet. If you've made it this far, it's probably because you're enjoying the video, so nothing more fair than giving it a like, right? Now let's continue. Once they cross the dimensional rift, it takes less than a second for them to return to the world they came from before. Interestingly, although Goku and Vegeta entered the rift with Daishinkan, the one who comes out on the other side with the Supreme Angel is Gogeta. Gogeta is surprised when he realizes he's back and asks what happened. Daishinkan theorizes that because the fusion was separated by some sort of atypicality of that dimension, the effect was undone once they returned. But actually, it's better this way, since given the situation, I will need your power, Gogeta, and not Goku and Vegeta's power. Gogeta says that Daishinkan doesn't look very good and asks if something happened. When asked this question, Daishinkan looks seriously at Gogeta and replies that yes, something happened, something very bad. Distressed, Gogeta asks him to speak at once. Vegito is gone, Daishinkan announces, to Gogeta's complete shock. But that's not all. The evil angels are closer than ever to defeating us. Gogeta asks what he's talking about and how things could have changed in such a short time. I mean, Goku and Vegeta only spent a little more than a day in that reality of ninjas and pirates. How in such a short time have things changed so much? But Daishinkan explains to Gogeta that apparently the passage of time was very different in the reality he just arrived from. In that reality, it may have only been a little more than a day for Goku and Vegeta. But in this reality, many days have passed. From Goku and Vegeta's memories, Gogeta remembers that Konnyaku arrived in that dimension weeks before them, even though they fell into the dimensional rift at the same time. In other words, the passage of time is indeed very confusing. Anyway, explain to me once and for all what happened, Gogeta asks, his anxiety growing more and more. Daishinkan then begins to tell what happened a few days ago. Intense training takes place in the world of the gods. Vegito, in his Ultra form, intensely trains Gohan, who fights in his most powerful form, trying to learn how to compensate for the lack of his arm that was ripped off by Zyko. But this time, Bula was also taken to train in the world of the gods, serving as a training partner for Beerus and Champa, helping the boys evolve at the same time that she also evolves. Daishinkan is absent from the planet, focused on wandering through dimensions looking for Gogeta. Everything seems normal when, suddenly, Vegito receives an alert from the dimensional radar. This time, a gigantic anomaly has been detected, and he obviously rushes to answer the call. When Vegito arrives at the location, he finds a dimensional rift from which an extremely dark energy exudes, something that seems to have the capacity to contaminate the entire great universe with the purest evil. When Vegito enters this dimension, he finds an absolutely gigantic energy source of universal proportions, a source of pure evil energy. This is pure evil. Something like that would have enough power to contaminate entire universes. Vegito's body trembles at that. It catches his attention when the angel Corn reveals himself, making Vegito automatically conclude that he was responsible for opening that dimensional rift. Corn is ecstatic, laughing from ear to ear, vibrating with excitement. He says proudly that among all the angels, he was the one who found what they were looking for so much. Vegito asks what he means by that. Corn reveals that their entire goal during this time was to find the evil seed, and he finally succeeded. All this time snooping around hundreds of thousands of realities has finally paid off. We did it! Corn screams in joy. Vegito says he doesn't know what he's talking about, but he's sure he can't allow this thing to continue to exist. Corn says he won't let Vegito ruin their plans now. The evil angel attacks Vegito with everything he has, with the two entering into an intense combat in which the Saiyan warrior has complete advantage. Despite all of Corn's efforts, it doesn't take long for Vegito to end the battle, completely destroying the evil angel with a powerful Hakai. After eliminating Corn, Vegito hurries to think about what to do about that source of evil power that the angel called the evil seed. However, to his misfortune, the evil Daishinkan arrives. He was called by Corn the moment he found that dimension, and his fight against Vegito was just to buy time. "You won't be able to defeat me, Vegito. Give up and surrender," says the evil Daishinkan. Vegito ponders for a moment. "It's true, I can't defeat you, but I can destroy this thing." Vegito turns to the evil seed, quickly accumulating an absurd amount of destruction power in his hands, ready to launch his most powerful Hakai. However, the leader of the evil angels is faster, advancing on the Saiyan's back and impaling his body with his arm. "You haven't thought about it very well, have you, Vegito?" Daishinkan asks, penetrating his arm more and more into Vegito's body in a torturous way. "First, you alone would never have enough power to destroy such a great and pure source of power. Second, you should never turn your back on me." However, Vegito smiles and responds, saying that at least he also got the time he wanted. The evil Daishinkan asks what Vegito means by that, but he dies before he can answer. After concentrating for a while, the evil angel notices the presence of someone outside the dimensional rift. This person is the Daishinkan of this reality, who even though he was searching for Gogeta between dimensions, felt the leak of this evil energy throughout the universe and went to see what it was about. The benign Daishinkan is startled to realize what the evil angels have just encountered and immediately realizes their objective. "I see, so that's the main reason they came here, and also why they mess with alternative realities so much." He concludes, the angel of the great universe knows that he cannot let his evil enemies dominate this source of energy, so he immediately takes action, extending his hands towards that dimensional rift from which the evil power leaks and beginning to release monstrous energy as he begins sucking that dimension into himself. Inside that dimension, the evil Daishinkan becomes restless, realizing too late what is happening. "Damn you!" he shouts to his counterpart who is outside. In an extraordinary act that demonstrates a unique sealing power and strong bodily resistance, the Daishinkan of the great universe simply seals that entire dimension and the evil seed within his own body in the form of a magical seal that forms in the middle of his chest. Returning to the present time, as soon as Daishinkan finishes telling Gogeta all this, he shows the magical seal on his chest. "Right now, that entire dimension is sealed inside me, including that strange source of power and my evil counterpart." Gogeta notices that the Daishinkan's body doesn't look so good, showing that maintaining this sealing has a high cost for him. It was an incredible feat. The problem is that it won't last long. "You are right, Gogeta. There is a high cost for me to maintain this sealing, both in power and health. I am very weak and I will not resist for too long, Daishinkan informs. Gogeta then asks what they are going to do. At that moment, Daishinkan realizes something that the Saiyans still cannot and suggests that they talk about it at another time. In the next second, 4 flashes of light appear fast as a teleport surrounding them, which turn out to be 4 evil angels: Sour, Kukatail, WHIS, and Mojito. WHIS, who appears to be the one leading the group, says, "You finally appeared, Daishinkan. We were anxiously waiting for you to come out of the hideout. And it seems you congratulated us by bringing Gogeta too." Realizing that they are in trouble, Gogeta takes his fighting stance and transforms into his Shinken form, preparing for the worst. Old Goku and God Vegeta are successful in dealing with the evil angel Konyak and safely leaving the ninja and pirate dimension. However, as soon as he returns to the reality he came from before, Gogeta discovers that the situation is not good at all, and he now has to deal with 4 powerful enemies. Now that Vegito is dead and Daishinkan is very weakened, how will the evil angels be defeated? And what happened to the other allies on the side of good? Find out in the next episodes of Dragon Ball Shinken. If you made it to the end, comment now, #Rest in Peace Ultra Vegito, and also what you thought of this episode. Leave a like on the video to help, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to receive the next episode of Dragon Ball Shinken and the channel's next videos. Sign up for our Patreon to directly help our stories or contribute with a super thanks, remembering that every amount helps us maintain this work. Thank you very much to everyone who helped in at least one of these ways. You are the great heroes of this channel. A big hug to all of you, and see you in the next video.